Welcome to this morning session. My name is Alexander Fink. I'm from Germany. I lead the Institute for Faith and Science there in Germany. And I have been asked to open this session and to end this session. So I'm very glad that we can start on time, on German time, punctually. That's great. And did you all have a good night? Are you prepared to meet other people, new people? Yeah. Amen. Today is about mixing between evangelists and academics. We want to get to know each other and discover each other's gifts and how we can use synergy effects, being one body in Christ to reach the world with the gospel. And last night, how many people of you have been at the bar and enjoyed good conversations at the bar? Oh, the rest went to bed, so really a tiring conference, I know. But I overheard a great conversation last night. You know, one of the evangelists went up to a group of 3 academics, and the evangelist said to the academics, "Did you know that I have got a job that has a tradition of 2,000 years at least?" And the academics looked at him, and one of them said, "That's quite impressive, yeah, but if you read Genesis, you know, I'm a surgeon, medical doctor surgeon, and when you read how God created men, human beings, he opened Adam, he took away a rib and created Eve from that. So I think a surgeon is an older profession than an evangelist. I have got the older profession." Suddenly the physicist stands up. "I'm a physicist from Germany, and I think we should not start at day 6, but we start at day 1. God said, 'Let there be light.' And I think physics is the oldest profession that you can think of." The third academic looks at the others and says, "Well, we should start at the beginning, you know, when God had created the heavens and the earth, then the earth was formless and void. It was chaotic and empty. And who do you think is responsible for that? I'm an IT professional." Okay. But, of course, we don't want to compare our gifts and our professions. We want to see how we can use them together for the gospel. And that's what this session is all about. So I welcome Michael, and he will lead us through a number of interviews with different people, very interesting spotlights again on what's happening in Europe and what will be happening. Michael, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Alex. Well, we want to showcase some of the ways that this is already happening as evangelists and academics are working together in partnership. So to do that, I want to invite Jürgen and David and Samuel up to the front. And we're going to hear about how this has been happening in the country of Serbia in the last year. David and Jürgen are on the Academics Network, Samuel on the Evangelist Network. Come through to the middle, folks. So let me just get this clicker. Sam, first of all, we'll start with you. How did it come about to invite, firstly, David to Serbia? Tell us a bit about the story and how it got set up.
Thank you, Michael. We were very happy to invite David to visit us. We are, for the many years, we are trying to reach students at medical faculty. And the medical faculties are very open when we bring some speakers. And last year, we had the IFES World Assembly in Indonesia. Do you remember that event? Some of you were there, yes. And then usually when I'm going in a plane, I pray to God to meet somebody interesting that we can share the gospel. And then on the way from Dubai to Belgrade, there was a medical student, lady next to us, but she didn't have a hand. She had a plastic hand. And and I asked her, like, "Hey, what happened to you?" etc. And we talked. We mentioned Nick Vujicic because we are working with him. And then she said, we start to share the gospel with her, Gary and I. And then she said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And then we mention who we are as well. And usually we have 2 options to say we are the NGO who are working on education with the students with the office in Oxford, or I usually say we are working with the students who promote Christian worldview especially emphasize 4 important things. Do you have a 3 minutes? I can tell you what is that. and usually people say, yes, yeah, tell us. And then, hey, we are teaching young people that there is a creator, there is a problem, there is solution, and there is a decision. And then this medical student, she said, I'm leading all medical unions in Serbia. I said, what? I'm a medical student and I'm president of the medical unions of every faculty in Serbia. It's my new position. I want to develop. Do you have any advice how you can help us? And I said, okay, I can maybe bring you some medical professors or doctors, etc. She said, hey, let's stay in touch. Then FOIR meeting in Spain, and then that's important meetings, FOIR, that you eat with people that you don't know. And one evening we come for dinner and we sit next to Professor David and we ask him, what are you doing? He said, I'm medical professor at Oxford. I said, are you open to travel? He said, yes. Said, come to Serbia. And then he came to Serbia. We have 7 days together, 17 lectures. And he's still alive. He's still alive. And there was a great opportunity because this lady, Maria, she organized a big event in Belgrade University and a couple other universities, and students could choose 2 lectures. And then she said to me, Samuel, don't just give us medical lecture. Can you give us some non-medical lectures? Okay, non-medical lectures. We put some of them. Every student group chose science and faith. Science and faith to teach at medical university. And for me, that was a great encouragement that there is a great openness at the faculties. So we just need to be open.
Brilliant. David, we've heard it from the evangelist perspective. Let's hear it from the academics perspective. How was your time in Serbia?
So I have 4 sons, and when they had no sympathy when I told them I was doing 17 lectures in a week. They were not all different lectures, but many years ago I was in America for an American Urology Association. They said, Dad, you have gone to America for a week. How many lectures are you giving? I said, 1. They said, how long is it? I said, 7 minutes. So they had no sympathy, but it was absolutely amazing. I mean, we went around 5, was it? I don't know, lost count. But for most of the time, I had an excellent driver in Samuel, and there was one person I refused to drive with. But I think yes, that's right. My prayer life has increased, but it was absolutely fantastic. And a great opportunity. And I was invited back to speak in June. The Crown Princess has a series of medical lectures, and I'm afraid I turned it down, but I said I'll come back next year and I'll bring 3 others. So hopefully next year there'll be 4 of us.
Great. And you're able to get into some interesting opportunities with some interesting people as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was just, I did what my coordinator said, and wherever he took me, I went. But we had tea with the Mufti, the Grand Mufti of Serbia. And I think Samuel was slightly worried that I might be converted away from Christianity, but we had a great...
I got a WhatsApp from Samuel saying, please pray for David. He's about to be converted.
We were in that, we have 2 cities where there is no church, but 2 big universities, no nothing. And then this is a Muslim city. And I was walking with this medical professor, director of the clinic, because we were teaching there about faith in that Muslim city, which is very rare. And I said, who is a mufti here? And he told me the name. I said, I remember I was studying many years ago in America, dialogue and tolerance with this man. Let's call him. And he heard that I'm here. He said, Samuel, come. And then he gave us a Quran, and I said to David, be careful, David, read Bible. Then I emailed to John Lennox and Lindsey Brown with a picture. I said, I'm concerned about David.
Great. So we've heard about David's visit. Now, Jürgen, you also went to Serbia this year, but this wasn't your first visit to Serbia. Tell us about your first time to Serbia.
The first time I was 30 years ago in Serbia. I gave lectures in a week where only a few foreigners were in Serbia. It was a time where the NATO said they would bomb Belgrade. I think I was one of the only foreigners in this week. And I have heard that afterwards, so this was very important for the starting point of IFES Serbia this week. 10 years ago, I was there on a tour with John Lennox, and we had one day, one night in Serbia, and spoke in the main hall of the university. I think 1,000 professors and students came to this. And this, in May this year, was my third time in Serbia.
Great. And so tell us about what was the kind of the reason for going, and what was the particular opportunity that you had this time?
Alexander Fink was in Serbia, and he was in Niš. That is a city where Caesar Constantine was born. And therefore, Alexander told Samuel that I would give lectures about Constantine in combination of the Da Vinci Code. Constantine had a big role in the Da Vinci Code. And so they had the idea, or Samuel had the idea, why not inviting me to give a lecture on the history faculty in Niš, to give a lecture as an ancient historian about Constantine. It was, I think, a good event. I think about 150 students, professors, even some Orthodox priests were there in the auditorium. And I spoke about the theme, the conversion of Constantine, politically or religiously motivated.
Fantastic. And that's particularly good because down in Niš, there are very few evangelical Christians in the south of the country, that's right.
Yes, there are few evangelical Christians, and our staff worker, Tanya, is Tanya here? Yes, she's here. She organized everything. But this event was all everybody, because the city is proud about Caesar Constantine, and when they heard that there are some German speaker talking about his genuine conversion in the 4th century, everybody came, and this was organized by one student of this department who became a Christian while he was hitchhiking in Montenegro. And then the pastor from Montenegro called me. He said, "Do you have a student group there?" I said, "Yes." We asked him, and he organized this event. So the university, we presented who we are as IFES, and it was a big event. Even Dr. Spies had a chance to go on national TV, on a local TV, to speak about this topic.
And last question is another academic that's not here. David Glass couldn't be with us this weekend, but he also came to Serbia. You've been working this well.
This year, brother, we were working.
Are there any academics you haven't yet invited to Serbia? Just tell us a bit about when David came as well.
Yes, David Glass. I don't know if is Gary here, our staff. Gary invited him in Novi Sad, and at the University of Novi Sad we have a great opening lectures, and in Belgrade about artificial intelligence. And then the daughter of the main editor of the national TV, she was on one of the lectures, and she said, "Hey, I will ask my father if David Glass can speak on a national TV." This is like a prime. This is like a Serbian BBC. Good Morning Serbia. Only 6 million people watching live, and then David Glass. They gave him 20 minutes that he could talk about artificial intelligence, and on the end he mentioned faith in God as well. So this was a great opportunity, and even one faculty, they wanted to make him like a visitor professor in Belgrade. We didn't sign any contract yet, but David is coming back, and the follow-up is very important, because when you come at university, meet professors, it's good that these academic friends are coming back, because then we can build something for the future of university. Being visible on TV, being visible in university is getting a lot of credibility for us as a national movement. We can mention that on our website. We can tell to the parents of the students what we are doing, and we are helping our educational system as well.
Brilliant. Thank you so much to all three of you. Can we show our appreciation? Thank you. So isn't that a great model of how academics and evangelists can work together, opening up doors into new opportunities and serving that? And it all started with a meal last year at Foyer and a conversation there. So be thinking about strategically who you have dinner with over the next few days and what might come out of that. Well, from Serbia, let's go to perhaps an even more extreme situation We're going to hear about how an academic has opened a door into a country that might seem very unlikely. And so Emma is going to come and tell us about that.